Thank you all for coming. My name is Corinne Haynes, and I am the new site coordinator for Ravenswood Community Learning Center.
Say it again.
I am Corinne Haynes. I am the new site coordinator here at Ravenswood Community Learning Center. So excited about the reopening and the programs and the services that we are going to bring to this great community. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce to you all our President and CEO, Dennis Walcott.
So first, let me say good morning to all of you. Also, let me say a special good morning to Corinne. Corinne, you are fantastic. We think the world of you. Corinne and I were talking on the side about how we like to start things on time. And she said, do you know what time I got here this morning? I said, what time, Corinne? 8:15 this morning. She is just so on top of things. And then she was also sharing another little secret. And then as a result of where Corinne lives down the way and working here, she's been able to build up her steps. So she walks on a regular basis. So she's included that. So Corinne, we just think the world of you, and we say a big thank you for your leadership. So I am going to be pretty tight with my script because we got a lot of people that are going to talk in a very short period of time, but for people who know me, know I deviate every now and then from the script. And for a moment, though, I want to deviate in a very serious way and pay our respects to our brothers and sisters from the New York City Police Department, the City of New York, the family of Jonathan Diller. I know our borough president was out last night. We lost one of our own as far as who's out there protecting and serving the public, and it was in Far Rockaway. And no matter if it's Far Rockaway or anywhere in New York City, we offer our deepest condolences to the NYPD as well as to the City of New York. So we can have just a moment of silence for Officer Diller. And I will be calling the borough president up in a second, but he was there last night. He's right now on only several hours of sleep, so that's why I want to be extremely punctual. But let me start this way to say that we are excited to be here. My other little deviation of the script, and this will be a quick deviation, is that I know exactly when Ravenswood Library opened. And I have a guessing game for you. Which is older? Ravenswood Library or me?
Ravenswood.
By 2 months. Ravenswood opened July of 1951. And so we, the Queens Public Library, have been here in various levels of service to the community in a variety of ways. And you'll hear more details about the services that we'll be providing the community now. But Ravenswood, we're here for you. We will always be here with you, and we look forward to serving the public. In addition to that, we have fantastic staff that will be working here on a regular basis, serving the public. Some people had the early tour and heard some of the things that we're going to be doing, but we're going to be doing so much more. And as a result of the great partnership that we have with the entire Queens Public Library, the partnership with the Tenants Association, partnership with the community overall, partnership with our elected officials, partnership with our partners, the community will be well served. The needs of the community were greater than this space could provide. In 2007, we decided to transition because Long Island City Library opened. And then from the Long Island City Library opening, we decided to repurpose the service here at Ravenswood. And for those who know, we had a UPK program, and we had a UPK program here for a number of years. Then as a result of COVID and also the changing demographics of UPK, we had to shut down. And we worked very closely with NYCHA. And NYCHA, we say thank you for everything that you've done for us because you have been fantastic partners, and we really appreciate that. And as a result of that partnership with NYCHA, we were able to open our new center now. And that's going to be a beacon for the community. And being on a tight timeline, I want to call up the Borough President, Borough President Donovan Richards. And again, I say this at each event that I'm at with the BP, I think the world of this man. I think the borough president is an outstanding leader. He is one who is committed. I haven't reached the point yet of being able to take my hat off to be out here, and he has his bald head. But at the same time, he does so much. And then one final plug for the borough president. The borough president just doesn't talk about it. He puts his money where his mouth is. And he supports community organizations. He supports the Queens Public Library in so many ways. And anytime that I can say thank you to the borough president in public, I will always take that opportunity. Mr. Borough President, thank you very much for everything you do. The microphone is yours. So, you.
Let's give it up for Dennis Walcott, who's really been moral compass for our city for so long. And I want to thank him for his contributions. And of course, to Corinne, congratulations. Now, you better not be late for work. There's just no excuse. It's like the closest person who lives to the closest to the school is always late. But I pray that those steps work out. I want to continue to get my steps in too. Not everybody can run a marathon every morning like Dennis Walcott. Fun fact about Dennis Walcott, he runs near my house, I think, every morning at like 4 a.m. So true story. He's in better shape than I am. But truly an honor to be here to reopen this center. And what a critical moment in our history, as Dennis alluded to last night, looking at the death of Officer Diller. And of course, my heart goes out to the NYPD, of course, to the family. You as a leader, you're human. And when you're in those rooms and you hear the mother's cries, the wife's cries, it sticks with you. And just adding on to this is why opening a center like this is so critical. I often talk about my journey, certainly getting here as borough president, coming from Far Rockaway as well. And I often remind people that you cannot criminalize your way out of poverty. We can do a lot of work to prevent violent crime by investing in centers like this. You look at the startling facts of how much money we spend a year to criminalize people on Rikers Island. To detain one individual on Rikers Island, according to the New York City Comptroller, it costs about $550,000 a year for one individual. Let me say that again. It costs $550,000 a year to house one individual on Rikers Island per year. Imagine what we can do with that money. Imagine what we could do with reentry services. Imagine what we can do to ensure that those who might have fell behind, who are not necessarily looking for a handout, but looking for a hand up. So this is what this center symbolizes. It symbolizes the rebirth of those who may need a second chance. I'm very happy to see the reentry services. I want to thank you for the important work that you're going to do, because really what we are trying to do is prevent. Prevention, what do they say about prevention? Is the best worth a pound of cure. A long night. But that's what we should be doing, and this is why we should continue to invest in our libraries, who are more than just libraries. Our libraries are community hubs providing these services. I go back to my days during Hurricane Sandy, Dennis opening up the Far Rockaway Library. We were giving out food and clothing back then. So these are more than just simply spaces. These are spaces where people are coming to get knowledge, to enhance their learning experience, to get books, to get knowledge. I look forward to doing Queensbridge next. I talked to Dennis about that. And I just want to talk about the proposed budget cuts as well that libraries face. And we must fight those cuts. There should not be one cut to a library. During the height of the pandemic, I remember going to Dennis and saying we needed to open a library in Richmond Hill. They were very hard hit. The library opened its doors for testing and tracing and vaccinations, and Dennis and Queens Library has done that all around the city, and it's one of the reasons I'm proud to have provided $24 million to our library system since I become borough president, and that number is only going to continue to grow. So to the mayor, To the council, let's get this right. This is about life and death. We cannot, once again, criminalize our way out of poverty. We need to make sure that we have more locations like this growing across our borough. I want to thank all the staff who are going to make sure that this place runs efficient and effectively. I want to thank NYCHA. Remember doing a walkthrough here, sort of yelling at them a little bit.
Okay.
But they got it right. We can when they get it right, we can commend them. Lord, Bishop, pray for them. And the federal government, who needs to give them more money. With that being said, God bless you all. I want to thank our community board partners who are here as well. And I look forward to more ribbon cuttings. God bless you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. BP. And the ribbon cuttings will be as a direct result of your leadership and your support and your financial support. So I would be remiss if I didn't take a quick moment to thank our team as well, because it's just not happening. It's happening as a result of all the great work of people. And one of the key words you'll hear mentioned, at least by me today, is partnership. And we have a great team at the Queens Public Library. So I want to say a thank you to the Facilities Department, our Legal Department, our Capital Department, Library Planning and Security, IT, Programs and Services. All of them have had a major hand in making sure that they were able to open this facility. Before I get to our next speaker, I also want to acknowledge people who are here who won't necessarily be speaking, but who have played an important role. And we have a great relationship with City Hall. No matter what happens around budget, we'll be doing our advocacy. We still have a strong partnership with the mayor and City Hall. And what you may not know, the inside baseball story, is that each agency has a deputy mayor that they work with. Well, we have a fantastic deputy mayor, Deputy Mayor Maria Torres Springer.
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Torres Springer is truly outstanding. I known her for a number of years. And we have her Chief of Operations to the Deputy Mayor here, Sarah Mallory. So Sarah, where are you, Sarah? Sarah is our go-to person, so we say thank you for that. Tiffany Echeverria is here, also the liaison to Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez. Shauna Marlock, who's here, Director of Community Affairs. Senator Gonzalez. Jenna Lang, the Communications Director. Councilmember Julie Wan, who supports us like crazy. And we thank the council member. We have someone here from Assemblymember Mondani's office. We have Detective Latoya McLeod here from Community Affairs Section at Police Area Number 9. Again, we thank you and everything that the NYPD does for us. And again, our deepest condolences. And when we talk about a partnership, we've had a great partnership with NYCHA. I know NYCHA very well. My father used to work at NYCHA. So I have a very close affection for NYCHA in all the years and going to the various developments. And as a result of my father, I know every Queens NYCHA development before I became a teenager. So NYCHA, we thank you for everything that you have done for us. And with that being said, we have Daniel Green, who is the Executive VP at NYCHA. And NYCHA, you have been truly outstanding. Please come to the microphone, sir.
Thank you so much for having us here today. Thank you, Queens Public Library, Mr. Walcott, Borough President, for having us here. We're very proud of this project. This project was overseen by our Healthy Homes Department in NYCHA. So we deal with some of the toughest issues, mold, lead, etc. But this was a big, challenging project that we took on. As the Borough President indicated, this was in very bad need of serious repairs. So our team took it on. So I want to thank that team here who are here today. Mr. Shivli Khan was the project manager in the hat back there. He really led the charge and really is the one who I think was really responsible, did a terrific job. Elena Tenchikova, who's the senior director of our Office of Mold Assessment and Remediation at Healthy Homes, and her deputy, Robert Burgos, and our vice president, Jacqueline Sullivan. NYCHA, we have a tough road ahead of us. We have a tough road every day, but we do care. We are really trying to turn it around, and we will continue to do so. And projects like this, I think, prove that. So thank you so much for having me here today. I really appreciate it, and very, very looking forward to seeing it inside there. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, NYCHA. You have been fantastic. We appreciate everything that you've done. Next, we'll have Evie Hansapoulos. Are you serious?
Got it better than I did.
Wow. I am not saying anything else after this if I got that right. Thank you very much. Who is the chair, the relatively new chair of Community Board number 1, who's been there for all of 2 months, as well as, it's 2 months, right? It's a month. And also the head of the Queens Botanical Garden, who's been there for 2 years, right? Microphone is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Walcott. Dennis, thank you, Dennis. Hello, everyone. Yes, this is my first ribbon cutting as Community Board 1 chair. And I couldn't think of a better place to kind of have that initiation because I live very close, just a few blocks away. And during COVID, did a lot of work with the community here, with Carol Wilkins, with other residents here, to provide food, to provide COVID tests, all sorts of things during a very, very dark and difficult time, not just for Ravenswood, but for all of us here in New York City. And so it's thrilling to actually see such an incredible, beautiful space open up that's really going to provide so much opportunity to people. Opportunity that people in this community deserve to have. And so I love to see investment in our public libraries, and I love to see investment in NYCHA. So this is really, really wonderful. Congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to Corinne. I am so happy she's going to be managing this site. Congratulations to the Queens Public Library, to NYCHA, and to everyone who was involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so it's test time now. What was the key word that I talked about earlier? Partnership. Very good. Someone said it. Partnership. And so when we talk about partnership includes people who are very generous with their time, their gift, their energy, their intellect, and also their donations as well. And so when we talk about donations, we have a great partnership with Amazon. Amazon has just been amazing with the Queens Public Library, and we thank them tremendously for all of their support, not just here, but throughout the various branches of the Queens Public Library. And part of that partnership is having a great relationship with someone who represents Amazon, and that's Carly Graham Garcia. And Carly is the Amazon's head of community affairs and public policy here in New York. Carly, would you like to say a couple of words to us, please?
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Corinne. Thank you, Mr. Borough President, and also Carol. I'm excited to meet for including me and also Amazon and so many of our important community partners. I'm glad that Dennis has called you out in the crowd who are here today to celebrate. When I first had a chance to visit this community about 3 years ago when I started this job, we went to Jacob Resettlement. We went to Urban Upbound. This space was closed. So it's incredibly exciting to be here today to help reopen. Amazon's proud to be here to celebrate. Every community deserves not only accessible public reading room with resources found inside that I just saw. I love the tree of ideas. So that was brilliant. That was in here and you'll see it. But also a place focused on workforce development and technology training. We're honored to be a part of this ribbon cutting and hope to have the opportunity to collaborate with Ravenswood Houses and this public library, as well as bring opportunities from Amazon. Thanks for having me.
Carly, thank you for all of your support. And we also have a fantastic relationship with Will Fisher. And Will is the Director of External Affairs at Rise, Light, and Power. Will, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Will Fisher with Rise, Light, and Power. We are a company that is relatively new on the scene here, but glad to have roots right here in Long Island City. I can see my office right over there. And for many folks in this community, folks are familiar with our core asset, which is the Ravenswood Generating Station just around the corner. If you step out behind this building here, you can see the iconic red and white stacks of the largest power plant in New York City, which has been in this community since 1963. Now, we stepped in a couple of years ago with a mission to fundamentally transform how we produce energy here in New York City and replace that existing aging fossil fuel equipment with clean energy, with renewable energy. And one thing that is so special about our partnership with Ravenswood Houses and with the Queens Public Library, and shout out to Tabitha on the development team, who's been our primary point of contact on this and has done a terrific job. You know, something that I come to our community partners like QPL with and like Tabitha with is how can we make our charitable giving go the farthest in public housing communities. And our vision for this site and for our partnership with Queens Public Library and for our partnership with NYCHA is that as we are building the future of energy in this neighborhood, as we are replacing fossil fuel generation with offshore wind power, with battery storage, with other clean sources of energy, that there are going to be young people living and growing up in NYCHA who come to a place like this that we're cutting the ribbon on today to learn about what opportunities exist, to get the training and the skills that they need to enter the workforce, and then come work for us and have long, fruitful union careers working on clean energy. Now, there's a lot of folks to thank and to congratulate, and I just want to really definitely say that we are proud to be a part of this community. We're going to be here for a long time. I want to give a special shout out to Ms. Carol and Ms. Corinne back here, who, on behalf of their communities, which are tens of thousands of residents here in NYCHA and Western Queens, they put a lot of weight on their shoulders to move these communities forward, and it's a lot of hard work, and I want to give a special shout out to them. Congratulations to Queens Public Library. Thank you to the borough president, and it's great to see so many familiar faces. Dennis, back to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I feel so empowered standing between Corinne and Carol. I mean, when you really talk about community representation and the power of what the community is about, I am truly blessed to be standing between the two of them. So now I just want to introduce two more people who are not necessarily going to speak, but just to acknowledge them. And Pooja Joshi O'Hanlon, who is the executive director of the El Mezi Foundation. I'm not sure if Pooja is here. Is Pooja here? And I mentioned her because El Mezi is a prime funder for our Adult Learning Center at the Long Island City operation. And they have been long-term supporters. And I see heads nodding all over the place. So everyone knows about El Mezi. And I just want to let them know how much we appreciate them. And also, Florence, is it Couloris, who is also with Community Board Number 1 as well. Welcome. And when I talk about feeling the protection of the community, we're talking about Carol Wilkins. Carol is the president of Ravenswood Resident Association, and we are grateful to you for your input, your guidance, your support, and your leadership. Carol, would you like to say a couple of words? Carol.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm so glad to see so many out here today. I'm so excited about this new partnership that we're going to have here in Ravenswood, and I think it's going to help us all. And I'm really looking forward to working with you. I see so many people out here that I've worked with and had good times doing whatever we were doing and getting along great with a great partnership. So I definitely look forward to working with everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you. And now to wrap us up with not necessarily blessings, but he walks to a microphone, he automatically brings blessings. And I've known Bishop Taylor for, how long have we known each other? You're on that side. At least 20 years plus, right? Yeah, at least 20 years plus. And I've always had a great deal of respect for the bishop. I love what he does in the community and beyond. And it's my pleasure to ask Bishop Taylor to say a couple of words. Bishop?
Good afternoon, everyone. To the president and vice presidents of the Queens Public Library, Dennis Walcott, Sharon Myrie, and all the folks that work with them. And of course, to our fearless leader that'll be running this center, Corinne Haynes. Let's give all of those people a big hand on this afternoon. I see in the audience Deborah Ellen Glickstein, who is the co-founder of Urban Upbound. And before I start my remarks, let me just give deference to one of the greatest presidents of any borough in New York City, and that is Borough President Donovan Richards. Of course, to Evie and to Carly, thank you so much for your support. Will, and to Corinne and Carol. And I think I met Dennis maybe about 25 years ago. And he has always been the cool, calm, and collective person that he is today. And I can appreciate that type of role model. when I look at this opening today, and I see a lot of members of Urban Upbound here today that are here in support of this opening on today, when Sharon called me and said, Bishop, you know, we're going to be reopening the Ravenswood Library. What are your thoughts? We're going to be bringing some employment services, some technology services, and things of that nature. And Deborah, my mind went back 22 years ago when we began to think about how could we break cycles of poverty in public housing neighborhoods by giving the residents the tools and resources they need for economic mobility and self-sufficiency. And we didn't want to build something from the outside in. We wanted to build something from the inside out and from the bottom up. And so 20 years ago, we began setting a new paradigm for the way engagement is done with residents of public housing through business development, career development, one-on-one financial counseling for residents in public housing, youth development, academic and vocational. And then my dad said to me, you'll never be able to make sustainable change unless you own money. I said, what you talking about, Willis? He said, you have to open up your own bank. And so the Urban Upbound Federal Credit Union. And then I am proud to say that with the library, Queens Public Library, we've shared over a decade of partnership. We're the #1 tax preparer in the state of New York, #4 in the country, and we've been partnering with the library for the last 10 years to deliver that valuable service to Queens residents. But not only Queens residents, we have 36 offices in all 5 boroughs of New York City delivering tax preparation to New Yorkers. And so when she told me about this site, I said, this is perfect. We've got Jacob Reese right next door. Urban Upbound is opening a new site right across the street next to the Ravenswood Pharmacy. And between that site, between this site, our collaborative efforts together, there should be no reason why we can't build community wealth and turn our communities around, work ourselves out of a job so that our children never have to be without the resources they need to succeed. So I'm proud to be here on today. I can't wait to get started. Thank you so much, Dennis. Thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you, Corinne. Thank you. Corinne is an amazing leader. You couldn't have chosen a better person to run this site. I might have a little bias too, because when you grow up in Queensbridge, you know that your family, you know what I mean? And we grew up in Queensbridge together. And then on top of that, she's a member of the greatest church in Queens, the Center of Hope International. And then finally, Carol Wilkins, who has been crying aloud and sparing not for over 50 years for Ravenswood houses, and she's getting the resources that she wants. Deborah Ellen, NYC Kids Rise, thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. I see our CPO here, Chief Program Officer Pinso Topgay, raise your hand. I see some of our members here from Urban Upbound here to support the library. God bless you and have a great day.
We're here to work with the community. We're here to be a partner with all, and we look forward to that partnership. Now, the moment we've been talking about. Camille, we're going to do our ribbon cutting. And Camille, yep, we're going to give Camille a minute so the things can be moved. And Camille is our person who helps put all this together. Camille, I want to publicly say thank you, Camille. Excellent job as usual. All right, Camille, turn it over to you.
3, 2, 1, snip, snip.